Welcome to 9 Players Cast, a video game book club podcast. I'm Player 9. I'm your host for the evening. With me today are my compatriots.
Martin, Milkbo, and Ariam, whoever. Lee, Zarmir, Lutz, Zarmir.
And Sex Panther.
Sex Panther, also known as
Scotty.
Scotty.
Scotty. No. Scotty, too hottie.
Alright, so today we're doing part 2 of the Mass Effect Book Club, where in part 1, we all played through the first part of the game and went over our first impressions and talked about how we felt about the game so far, went over a few mechanics. So, we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to cover a few different topics today. The first one's going to be talking a little bit about, you guys had your first impressions. Let's go over what those first impressions were, one more time. What did you think of the game?
First impressions, I thought that I told you I was actually quite bored with the game, and it wasn't until maybe about a fourth through it that it finally caught my attention.
I was the complete opposite. I started playing it and kind of got instantly hooked on it. Just friggin' loved it to death.
Well, like I said before, I love the series anyways, and going through it again once more, it really didn't change my opinion of, oh god, I love this game.
Well, my first impression was, like I said, I played the demo, I really wasn't too enthused by it. I did end up playing the other couple Mass Effect games, but never went back and beat the first one, so that's kind of how I started off on it. But now we've all had a chance to go through the rest of the game and experience a lot more of it. So just briefly, what are your opinions now?
I feel that Mass Effect 1 is possibly the better, I feel, what do they call it? Like a complete breakfast type thing? Mass Effect 1 is probably the best one as a complete breakfast.
It's
Define
bacon.
complete breakfast.
Okay, a complete breakfast is like literally everything you need to start your morning. Like it's a full, breakfast. Complete, well-balanced breakfast. You got your milk, you got your cereal, you got your milk, you got your side of OJ, you got some toast.
You got some Krogan quads.
Yeah, and you have them there, and you have it ready to eat, and it's really good, and it fills you up, and it starts your day. And so Mass Effect 1 has it's just everything. It's complete. Like there's nothing. Everything I feel like they tried to incorporate into Mass Effect was incorporated in some way, and then the sequels end up chopping up the parts that weren't not bad, but just weren't selling the game.
They took away the fat.
They took away the fat and made it more like commercialized so they could sell more copies.
Yeah. See, I agree. Like, I think Mass Effect it's one of my favorite games ever. And just playing through it again, like, just reminded me of how fun the game was. Like, playing through it all the way to the end, I was just like, man, this is a lot of fun. I forgot how fucking awesome this game was.
Now, just to remind the audience, we all said last time what our alignments were going to be throughout the game. How did you play the game?
Neutral good.
Completely neutral.
My alignment was, it was just complete asshole. So, like, I didn't do, like, all bottom choice, but I felt like whatever was given to me was, like, the most asshole question, or answer to give. I just gave it.
I went chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral?
Yeah, we have a lot of renegades in this chat.
Renegades? What?
Neutral counts as renegade.
No, it doesn't.
What? Neutral doesn't count as renegade.
Just because you shot the best character in the game.
So a big part of this game is the interaction Shepard has with all of his allies and comrades, same with all the Mass Effect games. And that interaction is very different depending on how you play the game and how much you interact, get to know your allies, Kaidan or Miranda, everybody in every game. So what did you feel about the allies?
Oh, man. Okay. Like, I hate Kaidan and Ashley with a fierce, like, it's so unwarranted. Like, I don't know why, but I hate Kaidan.
The only humans.
And I hate Ashley. Yeah, the only humans. And like, when I was playing with Lee, and we were trying to figure out who to leave behind on the planet they get nuked, I was like, who do I hate the most? Because I was like, well, this woman, like, it literally turned out to, I let Ashley survive because she had a vagina. And I was like, man, I'm going to feel bad if I let this chick die, and I've never used Kaidan anyway, so, alright, bye Kaidan. And I still never used Ashley. I mean, Mass Effect 2, when Ashley was gone, I was like, well, I guess whatever, I guess it didn't matter that much, even though it changes based on what you did. But, okay, but everyone else was great. Everyone else, I loved their story, I loved their character, I loved, their character design. I want to say that I almost exclusively used Tali and Rex for most of the game. I wasn't a real Garrus fan, but I loved Rex, how he would like go bloodlust mode in the middle of battle, and I would use Tali for her side abilities.
Yeah, see, I'm right there with you. I really hated Ashley. Like, I hated her so much. And so she was definitely the one I left behind to get nuked.
And she wasn't even supposed to be on the Normandy anyway. She just, like, tagged along.
Yeah,
like,
she's kind of just randomly like, hey, I'm coming with you guys. And, like, I just thought she was a total bitch. And I've played a game before where I didn't kill her, and eventually she turns around and she's bearable, but it's just, I can't get myself past the whole, like, man, you really kind of suck. Like,
I think what turned me off to her almost immediately was her pink armor.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why is your armor pink? You're a military person.
Was it pink or white?
It was white and pink. White with pink trim.
It was white
with pink accents on like her vag and boobs. That's what it was.
Yeah, metal. I don't know.
But she goes off and says that she's like part of the military and everything, and she wants to be just like her dad. I'm like, okay, stop wearing pink armor.
Yeah, and she's always the one who's inappropriate, like in the elevator conversations, and she's always like, hate this place. Place sucks.
Yeah. One thing I really hated about it is she was a big component of the whole like anti-alien thing. Like, you know, because like one of the first things she says when everyone's on the Normandy together, she's just like, I don't know about all these aliens sitting here on the Alliance ship, and you're like, what the fuck? Come on, you freaking racist! Who cares? Like, they're on our side, and she's like one of the only people on the entire ship. Well, I guess except Navigator Presley is the same way.
Well, to her credit, her father, she was raised in a military father who I believe was still having bad feelings about the whole Turian
War. Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder if when you hate both playable, I guess, quotation marks, humans, what that says about your views on humanity right now. When you start thinking that aliens are more, fictional aliens are more bros than the humans are.
I could see that, yeah, because Gareth was much more of a bro than Kaiden ever was.
Turians killed my daddy.
Yeah.
it's like Anderson was a pretty cool human character. I would have loved it if he had been with me. But then, like, I think it was just the douchiness of Kaiden and the bitchiness of Ashley. Like, there wasn't, like, a bro human to take with you.
And you noticed, it's, I think it's just kind of like set in a post-apocalyptic future in the world, because they're both bitch and douchey, and they're kind of both tan, so I'm wondering if that's a future where Jersey Shore got huge and, like, just expanded and killed everyone else off.
You just ruined whatever Mass Effect 3 didn't destroy, you just destroyed right
there. It is, right there. That's the whole, there's a backstory to Earth right there. That's the reason they look so douchey as hell.
Shore was the only that survived a nuclear apocalypse.
Exactly. And that's why you get bitch Ashley and douche Kate. I'm surprised there wasn't more fist pumping.
Well, one thing about the human characters, one thing I wanted to do, I didn't get around to doing, was actually playing a xenophobic renegade and play with just Kaiden and Ashley the whole time and just do everything I can to hate on aliens and like kill off the Krogan, tell the Slayers to screw off, kill all the Turians. I think you're shit. I wanted to do a whole playthrough like that through all 3 games.
Asshole of ever.
I don't know. I mean, my personal picks were always Garrus and Rex. Like, you had an unstoppable juggernaut on the left, and one guy who always had my back way in the far area over there with his sniping, and I'm just in the middle shooting off my little bionic powers.
Well, those two are like the perfect combo, though, because you have
they're total bros to each other. Like out of combat, they get along so well. Like even when you first meet them both, they're like broing it up.
Yeah,
like you really. I think the problem is that they're the most effective combo because you have Rex, who is biotic and like all tanky, and then you got Garrus, who is tech and combat, and between them all, I mean, between the two of those alone, you have like an even balance of everything, and then you have yourself in the mix, and you just add to whatever is there. You don't need any of the other characters, which kind of sucks.
It's kind of true, I can see that, but you could also argue the same point of the balancing. Let's say you played like a soldier, and you got like the very physical aspect. You could bring someone like Liara and Tali, and then you get both the extreme physical, extreme tech, and extreme biotic, and it's a different kind of a balancing system, where now you're the tank, and those guys are kind of hanging out in the back, helping you out, you know?
Yeah, I still see no incentive to use Kaiden.
No, me either.
I mean, I kind of as soon as the choice popped up in my first ever playthrough, I was like, well,
What was he?
This guy wants to stay here. Like, okay, let's have a little
I don't even know what he was.
He is tech and biotic, right? And which is a cool combo. But
I
it's
guess
just
it is
like,
a unique one, but like,
I think they would have done a better chance if they made you choose between your two most picked characters in every party.
Oh, that would suck though. But then people would kind of, play it that way. They'd play a person they didn't really like the whole time just because they knew they'd have to sacrifice.
And then they would go to like them. It would be mindfuck on their second playthrough. It really would. Like, wait, I hated this character before. Why don't I want him to die?
I love you now.
Your most favorite characters, the ones who are the crowd favorites, just make them overpowered and everyone will be happy.
Right. Game of the year all years.
I was saying that I was just disappointed and like, why can't I leave them both to die? I was like, that would solve all my problems.
Oh yeah,
just an extremely renegade option where you're just like, no.
I wonder if there's a hacked save file somewhere that I can just flag both deaths and then go into Mass Effect 2 and not deal with any of that I'm sick bullshit.
I actually have something like that. I have it was for spoilers for Mass Effect 2 and 3, by the way. So I had this thing for Mass Effect 2 that was the Mass Effect 3 survival kit, and what it let you do is pick like which situation of which characters you wanted to live and tell you how to get them, or give you like all these different outcomes, so you could kind of pick and choose exactly what to do and where. It was really simple, and it was awesome. So I was like, okay, I want no one alive.
What?
How do I get everybody dead except for me and still come out of this alive?
Was that an option?
No. In the second one?
No.
I was gonna say that's crazy. I didn't know that.
It's to lose everybody in the suicide mission in the second one.
Yeah. He you're talking about like a little like program or mod that creates save files, right?
No, it didn't actually create the save file. You have to do it on your own, but it gives you a little guide on what to do and when.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
God.
In number 2 to save all my characters. I just never thought
I did it specifically to kill them all off.
Pretty sure
I never thought the flip
you lose
side.
every single character, it's an automatic death for Shepard.
Yeah, so you had to leave at least one alive. So I had to pick which one I wanted alive, but certain ones can't be alive alone. Certain ones have to be alive with others. So like, I think Jacob was one of the only ones you could get it, like, be the only survivor, and he sucked. So I was like, I don't want to do that.
See, like, is it me, or did I just never cared for any of the humans in any of the Mass Effect games?
I think, what was that Mercenaries?
Even Joker?
Even Miranda?
Well, Joker, I like Joker, but he's a pilot, and Miranda sucked.
No.
We're getting into Mass Effect 2 too much, guys. But yeah, Miranda did suck with her fucking man jaw.
I'm just saying, who's the mercenary in 2?
Oh, Zaid.
Yeah, he's DLC though. He didn't count.
Yeah, he's DLC.
Still.
So I used him like crazy though after I got him. I was like, yeah, you're in my party all the time.
See, now you got me all like angry about Miranda, because for someone who's supposed to be genetically modified to be as attractive as possible,
she was made after her father's like egotistical like vision. So I'm pretty sure he didn't give
just terrible.
But it's man jaw in there,
and like literally the resting camera position of you talking to her is of her ass.
It was fine though.
like
put his face bag over her head.
One of my favorite pieces of fan art was one that me and Lee found, where it's like a full cast of everyone like standing around a couch and like watching a movie together, and like everyone's like has their own little like expression or like a little animation that they're doing, and Miranda is just in the back of the room facing away with her ass showing, and it's just her standing there. And like it was just so funny because that's basically all she was an ass.
That's Miranda right there.
Okay, back to Mass Effect 1 though.
Yes. Actually, I want to go into Mass Effect 2 a little bit, because I'd like to compare, since that's kind of where the conversation naturally flowed anyway. Which one do you think is the superior game? I mean,
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect 1?
I'm gonna have to do the 1, because even though the story was a little bit okay, and the characters were a little bit more fleshed out than the first ones, and that goes for the reoccurring ones. 1 had the right going on in the technical gameplay department.
You could definitely tell when EA started. As EA bought.
Here goes the EA bash.
I'm saving all my EA bashing for the eventual Command & Conquer episodes.
The guaranteed eventual Command & Conquer episodes.
I'll just say that you can tell when EA started to have their influence on the BioWare. Like, I believe BioWare wasn't bought yet when Mass Effect 1 was created. They were just publishing deal.
Yeah.
And then like in between development of Mass Effect 2 2 and Dragon Age 1, EA bought BioWare. And you can tell when things started to become more streamlined, you should say, and they cut out all the fat. And you can just tell that decisions were made to cut out a lot of the stuff. So, like adding ammunition to the game, getting rid of hacking, getting rid of the exploration aspects of each world, because instead of having like a little open-ended like hallway connects to hallway, like you can go around the Presidium and not ever use the taxi and still get to where you need to go. But in Mass Effect 2, you have to use the taxis to get to anywhere because those are your segues. And you can just tell that when EA started to put the little fingers in it. Huh. Am I wrong? I mean, who?
No, I'm right there.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
It's like they changed demographic halfway through.
It really is, yeah, exactly. Like they instead of going for the very more hardcore RPG type of crowd and appealing to those guys, they kind of went for more of the third-person shooter action explosion type crowd.
Oh yes, I felt like in Mass Effect 1, pausing the game and then like pressing the spacebar and then giving your orders was like almost mandatory. Because
I liked it that way.
Yeah, me too. And that's like a BioWare trademark. And in Mass Effect 2, it just you didn't need that at all because they made the AIs do everything themselves.
I was playing it on Xbox and I didn't see that as much. It was a lot harder for me to actually control the action in general. So I found myself letting my teammates basically do what they want.
See, what I ended up doing is I played on Xbox as well. What I ended up doing most of the time is when I would go to cast a power, I would hit it for me and then also like go around that little wheel thing they had set up and hit their powers too. So we'd kind of all cast at the same time, which I mean it kind of works, but I wonder if it was better on the PC? Like did it work better?
Yes.
It did?
The PC version of Mass Effect 1 is the superior version. Unlike Mass Effect 2, which, the Mass Effect 2 for PC is an actual port from the, console games.
Really?
Yeah, they reversed because the first game wasn't optimized at all for consoles that well, and the second one it was. And I think I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong or not, but I think the menus in Mass Effect 2 aren't even compatible with mouse clicks.
What?
No, I don't. Mass Effect 2, I don't think. Yeah, I don't remember them. You had to use the keyboard.
That's kind of messed up.
I think that's how it went.
Mass Effect as a story versus Mass Effect as a game, excluding combat. And what I mean by this is most of the game, as evidenced by the way you level up and the way you get experience, most of the game is split between combat and split between dialogue sections. Now, the dialogue as a game doesn't work. Is that its own standalone game?
I think if you chopped up the game, took out all the combat, and created it a la Walking Dead, it would actually hold up. I think it would. I think it would really, really would work out as like a little novel, interactive novel.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm totally serious about this. You could put like influence dialogue choices, stuff like that. Maybe put in like some interactivity during the combat scenes, or have a full CGI battle scene going on every time there was like a combat or something. On its own, the story could hold up as just an interactive novel.
For those of you who don't know at home, Walking Dead is a show about zombies.
Yeah, as well as the video game series.
It's really good.
Yeah, zombies.
That's
all you need.
As for the combat, I did not play the game for the combat at all. I played the game for the story. I was not in love with the combat. It was tolerable, much more than the other two were, but I flat out did not play this game for the combat.
What did you guys play this? Did you play this game for the dialogue or what?
I kind of agree with Lee here. I think the story on itself could be its own game, but it would be one of those games where I couldn't play for very long increments at a time. Like, I felt like the story and dialogue was a lot of cool stuff, but I kind of needed the combat too to kind of break up the monotony a little bit, give me a little bit of excitement,
I agree. Sometimes though, when I was jumping into combat, this is the only game where it's happened to me, where I started thinking, I want to go back to talking to people.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, stop shooting at me and talk at me with your mouth face.
I want to beat you with my wits.
Oh, it's that? You got
That's
a gun
actually-
there? Put it to your head.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually, give it the props though. That is cool. If you really did prefer the whole dialogue aspect of the game, the final boss, that was really awesome. Like that was epic. You're just you're being mind controlled, right? You should shoot yourself in the head. Oh, okay. And he just blows his own head off. It's like, oh, end of the game, cool. Like
that surprised the hell out of me.
Me too. Like first time I played it, there was no way I knew that was in there. I had to actually go back and play the game after hearing about it and then try to get it because it was impressive. I was like, wow.
You really had to farm for it, though, either way.
Oh, you had to try. Yeah, you had to want it.
Speaking of wanting it, tell me about some of the abilities later in the game. Since we talked about them earlier on for the ability to kind of start with, how did your repertoire expand, and was it good?
Ooh, repertoire. I like that. Mine was awesome. I played like a tech guy this time, which I haven't really before, and I thought that was awesome. Like I was running around like taking over the gas and AI hacking and stuff like that. I thought that was great. And then the null field was hilarious, especially when you're fighting like the Asari commandos and stuff like that who are messing you up. And you just run up there and throw null field, and then they have no biotic or tech powers, and then you just mow them down. Like I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a new perspective on a classic for me.
For my character, I can't remember if my first character that I played, Lee, was my first character biotic at all?
It was not. It was, I think, a straight up tech.
Okay. And tech was the one with the turrets and stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's not in this game.
Well, I guess I was just pure combat. I think I went sniper rifle a lot, but I loved the abilities of Liara and Tally a lot because they had like the throwdowns and the overheats. But the number one thing I loved was the grenades. The grenades in this game are so overpowered.
Oh, like the freaking endlessly flying frisbees.
Yeah, the frisbee grenades.
Yeah, those are so
cool.
awesome. They are cool. I thought myself, if someone was behind cover, I'd just throw it and blow it up right above their head. Like, it was epic, man. I love those grenades.
And as a sniper, I love to like stack my abilities. So like I would be like penetrate shield and then penetrate armor and then like back to back and just blow some poor asshole away.
So stepping back real quick to the dialogue options. If you look at dialogue as one game, I tend to think of this game as sort of rare in design where the player really sets their own goals. You know, you kind of get a sense early on that you have some control, right? So you start to set your own goals. But is that really the cost of failure for the dialogue part of the game? Like you're not attaining your personal goals? Or is there some other level of failure going on?
I don't understand. What do you mean by failure? If you fail, you die, and then you have to go back to the last checkpoint.
Exactly. And what I'm saying though, you never die in dialogue.
Well, okay. I guess what you're saying is you're talking about like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, where like you could end up dying because you said the wrong thing or you were triggered. Yeah. Well, I think that's just something that I think a lot of people fought BioWare to do. And I think the reason why they didn't have a lot of choices to choose from is because everything had to be voiced over. And so like in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, you'd sometimes, if you had enough character options made or done, you can have up to 6, 7, 8 choices of dialogue to go for. And then if they didn't work out, you can just save and reload. But in Mass Effect, every single dialogue choice had to have a voice actor say their line, and that gets expensive. I mean, it gets really expensive to do that. So I think one of the first things they decided to do, just to help them save money and save the headache of players getting frustrated, is that was one of the first things they cut. Was okay, well, your consequence won't be dying, but something permanent will happen to your game.
So is it a case of all paths lead to success? There's no dialogue option that blocks your progress or penalizes you in a significant way?
No, I don't think there is. You do something happens, and then you deal with that something. There is no something happens and you fail at that something, and then something else happens. Like you can't even fail. You saw like you roll a dice whenever you choose a bad or evil option, or when you try to persuade someone. It always happens.
Okay.
And so
So does it go back to the original point of the players sort of setting their own goal in the dialogue part of the game?
I don't understand what you mean by their own goal. I mean, the game gives you goals pretty straight up. The players choose which way they want to go.
Right.
But there is no goal. I don't understand what you mean by goal.
I think Keepsfence means that the game would give you a goal, and you could actually choose whether or not to change that goal to your own wants.
Right. I'm going to edit some of this part for clarity, but what I mean is I want to play the xenophobe character. I want to play the renegade. I want to play the paragon. I want to play the alien lover. But those are the player-made goals in the game where you start to get an idea of how you want to proceed through the game. And I feel like the dialogue portion of the game, if you were to look at it as a standalone game, the only penalty for the dialogue portion is you get closer or further away from what your vision of your shepherd is.
I don't know. I think you're confusing Mass Effect for a sandbox game, because it's definitely not a sandbox game.
No.
It's a story that it gives you choices every now and then, but whether or not, every now and then another option might come up where you can change the original course of what the intended stated goal was. But I just don't understand what you mean by the player's goal when it's the game's goal.
That's what I'm saying, is that the game it doesn't take away from anything. And the player can set their own goals. It's like that kind of
What do you mean set your own goals? I don't understand.
I want to play evil, or I want to play neutral.
Oh no, they want to play evil. They just choose the bottom option the whole game.
So what makes the dialogue portion of the game any good?
It's like what Lee said. It's a story. It's a choose your own adventure type thing.
But why am I getting experience points?
Yeah, I think that you guys have some points here. Like, I agree. Like the options, like you do get experience points, and you can further yourself into better battles or have better gear just by talking, which it makes it kind of important, you know.
You had a system where you kept talking. You had a system where you kept talking instead of combating. You just have wimpy arms and shit. It affects your appearance. You get a little scruffy charisma beard or something like that.
Charisma beard.
Yeah.
I'm definitely playing devil's advocate here, just to try to get a point across about the dialogue, because it does play such a huge role in the game.
Oh.
But I'm trying to look at consequences of the dialogue option, and it seems like all paths lead to success, all paths lead to victory. So why does it matter?
I think it just gives you the option. You know, it's just
is it just for flavor or flair? Because when people think Mass Effect, they think Renegade Paragon. You know,
you're getting into the territory of why even play video games. You're starting to break down the social, you're starting to break down the whole construct of a video game is the fact that you're being taken somewhere else that some other else created. You can't, why even do dialogue boxes? Why even play the game? Why even bother turning on your Xbox? And it's wow, James, calm down.
I don't think we're going that far. I'm just really criticizing the dialogue factor, and I guess it could be considered something similar to a text-based adventure.
Of all the things to criticize about Mass Effect, the dialogue is the least. They put the most effort out of anything on the dialogue choices and the different trees you can go to.
That's why I'm criticizing it.
So
they love their words.
So okay, what about the Hanar and the Presidium that won't shut the fuck up about its religion? The way you handled that, when you can definitely tell that's something they designed really early on, back when they were excited the most about it. Back when they were yeah, and then you can do this and you can do that, and here's all these different ways you can approach it. And so you can either buy the license for the Hanar, or politely convince him to leave, or threaten to kill him, or just leave him be. And that was, I think, more of what you were looking at, what do I want to do? And then later on, as the game progressed, they had a harder and harder time giving more and more dialogue options for certain events.
Again, in order to criticize the dialogue of Mass Effect, I must be devil's advocate, because there's no way you can really criticize it. It's spot on, it's perfect. And that's why I just want to bring it up, to really try to flip with that, because no one's going to question that, and that's why I want to question it.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Everyone of the combat's, kind of the inferior part of the dialogue.
I'm certain everyone listening to the podcast is I'm going to quit listening to this podcast. This guy's going to start shit talking Mass Effect dialogue.
I really almost had to stop myself from just leaving. I was wait, and then I was reeled back in.
What kept you?
It's the voice, man. It's just I couldn't leave you.
Something tells me you only stayed because you were hoping to hear more quacking noises.
Yeah, Yeah, what was that?
know what that quacking was.
Moving on.
The Phantom Quacker.
For those of you in our audience, I don't know.
Completely off topic, but there was a quack. We heard it, and we have no idea where it came from.
Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Quacker.
Reeling it in a little bit. Fantastic moments from the game. Go.
So many of them.
Yeah, it's just,
I
great.
think it would have to be the moment where I realized I could do nothing to save Rex, and instead of actually ending my best friend's life, I did it myself, like Old Yeller moment. Like, sorry, Rex, my boy, you're gonna have to trust me on this one. Put a shotgun shell right into his forehead.
Don't worry, buddy. I got your
Good
best interest in mind.
Oh my god, dude.
It wasn't good. It was the most impactful to him because he didn't want to Rex.
I'd say favorite. I'd say
I
fantastic.
remember Lee complaining about the decision for a long time because he couldn't experience Rex in Mass Effect 2 or 3, and he was playing whenever I was doing my playthrough. He was like, "Wow, I haven't seen this."
Yeah, because
I can see
that choice with Rex early on really makes the big difference in the other game.
It literally,
Seriously, it's
it
like
changes everything.
it's like the pivotal choice of how the game is going to be affected.
My
Fuck the ending, you know.
yeah, exactly. This might be cheating a little bit, but like during Mass Effect 1, like if I had just played Mass Effect 1, I'd probably have a more solid answer for you. But there's a retroactive moment that I thought was pretty damn cool. In Mass Effect 2, you meet Edie, and she's a shipboard AI, and if you get to know her a little bit better, you realize that there was a mission that you did in Mass Effect 1 where you had to shut down this rogue AI on the moon that had been taking over all these stations on Earth's moon. And when I was playing that section of the game this time, knowing that Edie actually comes from the AI that you shut down on the moon, I don't know, for some reason that was a little bit more intense for me. Like, oh man, I'm fighting Edie right now, like proto Edie.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
That's really cool, dude. I guess it makes sense, too. It makes a lot of sense. No, yeah, wow.
Yeah, see, then like, whoa, like once you play
that
Like everyone's like,
And I thought that was just a crazy cool mission, and now it has, like, now I have a whole new respect for that.
yeah, it's like fucking, that's when it's like a big thing.
You just kind of blew my mind a little bit. I had something to say, and now I don't have something to say.
so now that's the most fantastic moment in the game.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say probably my favorite moment in the entire game is you're sitting there, you're fighting Saren, or you convince him to blow his head off, and he dies, then you're like, okay. And that was cool in itself, the whole getting him to commit suicide. That was awesome. But then the fact that his, like, body kind of starts breaking apart, and that machine version, like, starts taking over his body and crap, that was kind of like, it was a really intense moment for me, because I was like, oh, okay, I beat it, cool. And then he falls, and he just, like, his body just snaps in half, and he awakens. I was like, because it was extremely kind of, like, exciting and intense, because you hadn't seen anything like that before in the game. Everything had been kind of, you know, PG-13, I guess, and this was kind of demented. You know, like his body was falling apart, and he was still fighting as a robot. I was like, whoa!
I think I might have blocked out part of that fight because I think the screams that he was using was freaking me out during that whole game.
Dude, it's for real, because it is a completely intense, like, upshift from the gameplay. You never find something that demented or that crazy until right there at the end.
Yeah, I'm starting to remember it now. God, those screams.
Yeah, and it's cool because it gives you kind of like a real kind of desperation or fear of what the hell the Reapers are, because what was that? You know, like that was crazy. Like that was great. I love that.
I know what mine was.
What's that?
Right at the beginning of the game, Jenkins drops dead.
No!
I think, oh, thank God. One down, one to go.
I kind of wonder if that's a Leroy Jenkins metaphor.
It was.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was, where he's just like, hey guys, what's going on? Oh God, no! And he just falls over dead.
See, if I had just played Mass Effect 1, I would have to say the cutscene where they assault the Citadel, or where the Reaper tries to attack the Citadel.
Oh, that was epic.
That was pretty good. That was probably my jaw-dropping moment of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
if I just had to choose something that was strictly Mass Effect 1.
That air battle right there with the Citadel, where you call in the humanity's fleet and they just all come out at light speed right there on top of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great cinematic. That was just extremely epic. And you see, well, depending on your choices, you could either fight with the people to try to save the council, or you could say screw them, it's humanity's turn. Or
I'm gonna tell you right now, I really regretted saving the council.
What? No way, dude. Believe me, I've played both, and it is way worse to not save the council. Like, pretty much Udina, the dickbag of the game, he just becomes a really big player, and he gets really, really annoying, and I just hate him. So, like, you may regret it, but the alternative is terrible.
I regretted it the second he goes, yes, Reapers. I was like, I should have killed you.
Oh, God damn it. I knew it was coming, and my fingers reflexively, like, twitched. Like, both of my index finger and middle fingers twitched.
During what?
Oh yeah, whenever he goes,
when he said Reapers, I was like, shit.
In Mass Effect 2, the Turian on the council, he goes, yes, Reapers, and he does the quotation marks with his fingers.
This would be a perfect moment to get like a little clip and like put the fucking Turian in the corner and just going, Reapers.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. That guy's just a douche. I wonder if that's a kind of like a nod to the backstory where humans and Turians fought each other. I wonder if that's what that is.
Oh yeah, possibly.
Kind of because like you're a human, so he automatically doesn't like you very much, and he's not really inclined to believe anything you have to say. Like,
is there a portion coming up about plot twists?
What a twist!
Maybe.
Many twists.
I have a question right now, and it's really good, but it's like a later question. So like this is like the question to end it on.
Find another question because I want to talk about
dog barking.
I gotta write it down. Hold on.
You got a dog barking in the background.
Trixie, shut the fuck up.
All right, I wrote down the words "if Mass Effect 4," and that's gonna remind me what it was. Okay, so yeah,
you said Mass Effect 4, and I shuddered.
Yeah,
you know it's gonna be like 100 years later, and there's all the races that were stuck on Earth, like mingling together, trying to figure out how to get off Earth. That's the whole series.
No, they retcon that. They retcon that. No, they're not trapped on Earth. They fix all the mass relays on that in one of the ending cutscenes that they retconned.
I'm not gonna edit any of this out. This is gold.
So wait, hold on. I'm not gonna lie. I played through 1, played through 2, played halfway through 3, and got pissed and turned it off. And so I never even beat it. So explain to me.
Oh God. Oh no. Don't get us. Oh God, you're gonna get us started. Okay.
Okay. Well then don't. Later time.
No.
I will try my best. I will try my best to do it. Okay. Hold on. I'll make it real quick. Okay.
All right. Give me the clip notes.
Okay.
Oh,
imagine every single. Okay. Just try to remember every single decision you ever made between Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
Remember everything BioWare and EA has ever said about the Mass Effect series, especially how they said every single decision that you make is going to alter the ending in your special way.
Yeah.
You remember everything that you could possibly think about, all the characters who died, every time you brought up something, every time you did something for them. Think about everything you did in all 3 games, all based on a promise that was made from the very beginning and throughout the series that it would matter, and then realize that the ending of the game makes nothing you did matter.
What?
Nothing. You literally get an A, B, or C ending, and they're all equally terrible.
It's all based on what you choose at that moment.
Yeah, on that. And then imagine the uproar that happened, and then BioWare had the balls to say, it's our game, you guys are just being entitled. The uproar was so bad about this ending of the game.
We need to move on. I'm going to freak out.
No. This last part needs to be said. The uproar was so bad, they actually had to go in and release a very hastily made
director's cut.
Yeah, director's cut. I wouldn't even call it like an expansion. It was like a download that fixed, not fixed, but like they changed the ending to be a little bit more dependent on your choices. And then after you watch the credits and after you watch this really weird and upsetting ending, you get a dialogue box that says, "Don't forget to buy the DLC."
Where's the wall? I'm gonna go beat my head against it.
That's what happened to Mass Effect 3.
The only good thing that came out of Mass Effect 3 was that that fucking final space battle.
The space battle, and like the whole point of Mass Effect 3 was that you were supposed to go around each planet and collecting and saving the people so that you can add them to your battle force. And you don't even get to see your battle force.
We're going to go ahead.
You don't even get to see Elcor strapped with guns. I'm sorry.
Move on.
We're going to go ahead and move on because this is not Mass Effect 3 Controversy Cast. I would suggest for all of our viewers, because my favorite part of this controversy was the theory, the indoctrination theory that Shepard was indoctrinated from the very beginning of Mass Effect 1.
I don't believe that.
I like there's an Angry Joe video on it. I suggest everybody watches. But I loved that theory. I didn't really buy it, but I loved it. And then BioWare came out and said, no.
Do you know what the indoctrination theory was? It was bargaining with your grief.
Yeah, it was.
It was like, oh no, it's okay because of this thing that I'm pulling out of my ass.
I will say, my wife Sarah loved all 3 Mass Effect games until she finished the 3rd one, and ever since that moment, she has never wanted to say a single word about Mass Effect ever.
Because it retroactively ruins your experiences.
It does, and she cried when you know who dies.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, who? I mean, spoilerific.
I guess it is spoiler. When Morden died.
Oh no!
I would like to count the seashells.
I like to think that whenever a character dies in the Mass Effect universe, that stupid song plays from the first one.
Oh yeah,
you die. They have their own little song moment, and then they just fade into the darkness.
I love the Morden. You guys don't understand how much I loved Morden, because Morden, it's Morden Solus.
Yeah.
It's like every time someone says Morden's like full name, it sounds like no one on the cast, no viewer is gonna get this, but I had a principal in my high school. His name is Mr. And he would always pronounce my name, Mr. Solus. It's Solis, but I guess because he's from Illinois and he was raised in the cornfields that he can say it that way. I
cannot believe you actually just dropped I'm gonna edit that out, but you just dropped the real name on the cast. On the cast. I'll just bleep that. Don't do that, guys, by the way.
Put a quack in there.
Dude, put a quack.
You got it.
Morden Solus. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna restart. The reason why I like Morden Solus so much is because it sounds like my own name. There, that's what you should use.
There's the quack.
Really? Where was it?
Lee, okay.
God, sorry guys, I get off on tangents. But Mass Effect, really what happened to Mass Effect 3, and so the director's cut changed a lot in the ending. There was a green ending, there was a red ending, and there was a blue ending. Watch the North. Look how everything's blowing up, right? Look how frantic Joker's trying to get away. Well, look how intense it is. This is actually probably the best part of the ending, right?
Yeah.
No joke. Like this is like really intense and scary moment.
Is the one who got away.
They never did really explain why he was running in the first place.
They did in the director's cut. They told him
they did in the director's cut.
But and then the director's cut, what ends up happening is that you can find the director's cut endings later. But basically, they take away that intense moment, and it's just Joker like looking around and just pressing buttons. Like he doesn't even care anymore. And there's no explosions.
Wait. So did Joker die right there at the end?
The entire Normandy crew, like it was left up to debate what happened.
What?
Yeah, it was really dumb.
It wasn't. No.
So
it showed if you got a
good enough ending.
It showed Joker getting out of the thing with Edie and all the surviving crew members that were apparently in Normandy.
Yeah, but they were trapped on that planet forever. They couldn't get off because
he had aliens. He had robot sex. The rest of the
there's a decision in Mass Effect 3 where you can merge artificial life with biological life, and so like everyone becomes a digital biological creature. So all the computers become biological, and all the biologicals become computers, and like this weird hybrid. And so like Joker and Edie hook up. It's really weird shit, dude. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. The ending is just, they threw out all this random crap that had made no bearing on the actual game. Scotty, so like on your own time, like you should just look at all the ending crap. So, okay, I actually want to bring up something though.
Okay.
For Mass Effect 1. Who else thought it was really clever for BioWare? Okay, let me rephrase it. Who thought it was really clever how they used that mass relay inside the Presidium? Like,
Oh, that was cool.
that was like, I thought it was just, like, that was the point.
Decoration.
Yeah, that was for decoration. And like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, that thing that's been in the Presidium this entire time is an actual mass relay, and you throw the Mako through it, and you're like in the...
Yeah, exactly.
That was
I thought
so
that was I thought that was incredible because you're just sitting there like walking around the Citadel and you're just like, oh hey, look at that, that's super cool. Like that's really pretty over there across the water. And then it's like, oh hey, remember that thing that was completely not important at all? Well, it's awesome now, and you're like, oh my god, you're totally right, it is awesome. Like yeah, like that was really cool.
All right, so I have my big question. Thinking about game design elements from Mass Effect 1, what do you think should live from Mass Effect 1 and carry over into a game such as Mass Effect 4?
Oh god, no.
Bring back ammo.
Don't bring back ammo. Get rid of ammo.
The heat system, the way they did the first guns, that's great. That was a really cool way to do the gun system.
Just do that part.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool way they did the gun system, and it was kind of a foolish thing to leave it.
Yeah, just bring back the heat system. Don't bring it back in.
I would say if they were to make a Mass Effect 4,
Which they are.
they are going to make one, but
They are. It's not enough.
And this is our hypothetical Mass Effect 4. This is your wish list for Mass Effect 1. What goes into Mass Effect 4? This doesn't necessarily include things that weren't in 2 or 3, but what from even 2 and 3, what do you want to live on?
I want everything. I want all of Mass Effect 1 to be in Mass Effect 4. Because I don't want, like, Mass Effect 2 and 3, like, that Gears of War wannabe feel. I want that to be gone. I want Mass Effect 1 to be Mass Effect 4, except I want it to be slightly less rigid. Because Mass Effect 1 gameplay was a bit rigid because I guess it was just something they weren't used to yet.
Yeah, I could see that. I kind of agree too. It's just, I would like to see an enormous shift back to the RPG style instead of the, like you said, Gears of War cover,
A lot
type style.
of the good writers for BioWare are gone now, and what you got is like if you want to see just the paradigm shift of quality BioWare is, go play Dragon Age 1. Dragon Age 1 was amazing.
Yes.
Dragon Age 1 helped me through a very important time in my life. It was a very terrible, sad time in my life, and it was the one game that made me laugh and made me forget where I was. And then Dragon Age 2 came out less than a year later, and you could just tell that something terrible had happened at BioWare. And so Mass Effect 4, I don't have a lot of hope for, but if my wish list, if it was a wish that I could make, I would like everything that made Mass Effect 1 to be making Mass Effect 4.
I think, and it's a pretty big wish. I think I would like the little things that they put in there, the conversations in the elevator, I don't know if you guys remember or even noticed, in 3, whenever you walked by people, no one really said anything. There wasn't really any good conversation. To activate stuff like that, you had to press like E next to them or whatever the interface button was. In Mass Effect 1, if you walked by someone, they started a little, exposition, a little talking, and I think from the last episode, someone mentioned about getting missions from just overhearing things, stuff like that, the little things that they put in, the eagerness, as Martin earlier said, the eagerness they had of all these ideas of how amazing the atmosphere was going to be in their game, and all the choices, all the just visceral, just like, oh my god, this world is living and breathing. Everything that I do has like bearing on what comes next.
Yeah, man, I'm just very depressed.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have the little things back.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a wish. Because before Mass Effect 3 happened, it could have ended any different way. But then it happened, and it didn't.
But then it happened.
I think this just about wraps up this episode of Depression Cast. So we're going. Any last words? What's the final verdict? Does Mass Effect 1 live on in the tapestry of great games to be studied in the future of game design?
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's the matrix of video games, and the fact that the first game was so great, and the next two games were the next two sequels were made with an expectation. Now, a lot of people will argue that Mass Effect 2 is better, and gameplay wise, probably, but that's not what but world building and making you feel immersed, Mass Effect 1 was better, and it definitely stands the test of time. I think a lot of new gamers, like the new generation of gamers, are probably not going to enjoy it as much because they're just so used to something else.
Yeah, but I would say I could probably see where you're going with that, and I highly recommend it. I think it's one of those games that probably will age pretty well, just because it's got a lot going for it. It's got a lot that went right for it. Like you said, the whole living, breathing atmosphere and the entire universe and everything is just fantastic. And definitely it'll be one of the it's in definitely my top 10
Leave
best games of all time.
Yes, it does. It does hold up.
How long did it take you to get that going? Yeah. You guys
My
still want to
opinion
go
matters
last.
more. It requires a little bit more flair.
Awesome.
I don't care if you edit that out, but
No, we're keeping it.
What about you, James?
I think it holds up in that it did something that, personally, I don't think had been done before. I mean, there's been games like Baldur's Gate and adventure games like that, but Mass Effect really kind of made it personal and made it more about your experience as Commander Shepard, putting you in the shoes of Commander Shepard in the most effective way possible. I think that was very unique, and it was something that needs to live on, because I figure it feels almost like a new genre of sort, and it's really kind of strange to say, but it's kind of what it feels like. It gives a different tone, a different perspective on what video games are about and what video games mean.
I agree. That's what definitely gives it the whole sadness, the whole feels about it is, I mean, who knows if there'll be another one like it, because it is that damn good.
Yeah, it's just a classic. And maybe there's some nostalgia blindness here and there, but I think it's pretty good. Alright, so that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. We're gonna move on to our tangents, and we're also going to move on to Kickstarters. Who's got Kickstarters?
I got one. I got so many. I can only have two.
Yeah, you only have two at a time per episode.
2 and 3. Okay, so this just popped yesterday, but I'm super excited for it. War Machine Tactics. If you've ever, I'm a big 40K fan, and I look over and I see the quality of War Machine miniatures. I'm like, damn, I could really get into that, but I never really wanted to jump into another tabletop game because, it's fucking expensive. Even though War Machine's actually a little bit cheaper because they don't gouge the prices.
I've heard of that, actually.
There goes our Games Workshop endorsement.
They're already funded, dude.
Yeah, no, they just hit $500,000 in 2 days. That's what they got.
But here's the thing:
it's a turn-based PC game version of the tabletop game that's going to have asynchronous multiplayer gameplay. It's going to have a built-in campaign. It has from the videos that they showed with actual in-game assets and engine already working. It looks really good, and I'm just really excited for it. Okay, sorry, Lee, you were saying?
That sounds awesome.
Just a little heads up, not to knock down War Machine or anything, but there is a turn-based tactical RPG, not RPG, turn-based tactical tabletop-like game that is based in the MechWarrior universe coming out called MechWarrior Tactics. And it's currently in, I think, closed beta, but they're pretty liberal on their invites, and I'm actually in it, and it's just like the tabletop, and it's great fun. The card system mechanic is actually kind of cool, and I wonder if that the people I think it was, who owns BattleTech? Hasbro or?
No, not Hasbro. It belongs, the BattleTech belongs to...
It couldn't belong to WizKids, could it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think MechWarrior belongs to...
No, the BattleTech license.
The BattleTech license belongs to WizKids, but the MechWarrior license was returned to Piranha Games. Was returned to the original creator from FASA.
So, there is that option if you want to get get into, if you look at the War Machine Tactics Kickstarter, like it, fund it, there's just another option that's currently available right now if you sign up for the closed beta.
I like how you completely hijacked that Kickstarter for
no kidding.
Like, I'm gonna totally just pwn out my own Kickstarter here called Satellite Rain, and it's got about 16 days left, and it's got about maybe 75% of it funded. It's a cyberpunk game, and it's an open world one. It's in real time, and they're toting it as a strategy game. And I think you might be very interested into it, Martin, because
more
saw the
interested in a steampunk tabletop game.
Yes, but it's not a tabletop game. It's an actual open world, like, full video game.
Okay, Satellite Rain.
And yeah, Satellite Rain. And there's even a book that's coming out with it, though. And it's by the guy who made the Shadowrun stuff. So you know it's going to be good.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Original Shadowrun or new Shadowrun?
Original Shadowrun.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Russell's in it. And so I know that you got excited when that Cyberpunk, 2077?
Yeah, Personal Responsibility 2077.
Yeah, I know you got excited when you saw that, and this is kind of looking to be something similar to that. So you might want to check up on it. Anybody who's interested in that trailer, who has not said anything much more than that release trailer, go ahead and look at this. There's a Kickstarter video. They have dev chats there, and they're making an update at least once a day on their Kickstarter.
What's it called again? Go ahead and plug it one more time.
Satellite Rain.
Satellite Rain.
Yeah,
that's pretty
like
sweet.
Rain, like falling rain, like.
Do you got anything, Scotty?
I'm not really a big Kickstarter type of guy.
Get the fuck out.
I know. I'm actually following you guys like now and listening to this. And a lot of it sounds just like it sounds awesome.
You need to peruse that Kickstarter website more often, my friend. You'll find games that
I'm gonna have to.
I have something. I have one more I really want to talk about. I was looking through some of Privateer Press's backed projects. Privateer Press is the company that owns War Machine, and so I was looking through the projects they had backed in the past before they had put out their own Kickstarter, and there was something really cool. It's not really game related, but I thought it was pretty badass. There is a company that got funded through Kickstarter that is creating that is finalizing a plant that's genetic sequence that allows it to glow in the dark. And
nice.
what they've done is that it's gotten to the point where with the funding that they have gotten, they can go ahead and create this plant for commercial use in order for people to be less dependent on electricity. So you can grow these plants that glow in the dark and use them instead of lights.
Welcome to Krypton.
Yeah, they're really cool, and it's a real thing. Like, even though the Kickstarter's over, you can go on their website and pre-order some of the seeds, and then you'll get the seeds, and you'll be able to plant these plants, and you'll take care of them, and then they'll grow into.
Are they potable?
Yeah, they're potable. Right now, for $40, you can get like a kind of a bush type plant with a bunch of like really large leaves, and if you get like $120, you get some glow in the dark rose seeds that they have.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
ladies.
These are expensive plants because they're genetically engineered. So it's like you can go to the store and get like a pack of seeds for any old daffodil at Walmart for like $2.50, but for $40 you can get some seeds for a small potable plant that glows in the dark. And so I thought that was really fucking badass.
That's really cool. That tops mine, maybe.
Well, come on, bring yours anyway.
All right. So our show is primarily targeted at game developers or, people trying to get into the industry, people just they're interested in that kind of thing, that general subject matter. So I wanted to plug Kickstarter it's been finished now, but the project's still going on. It's still coming towards release. It's called Spriter. Now, Spriter is a powerful animation tool for creating highly detailed 2D real-time game characters and effects and a visual editor. So for games like Mark of the Ninja or Shank, it makes the creation of the sprites so much easier because it changes the process. The character just stays to a format that allows the game engines to produce higher quality visuals while using less RAM, requiring less disk space, and being very easy to animate. It's almost like using Flash for 2D characters really easily.
I was a backer of this project too, and what makes this program really amazing is that games like Rayman and Mark of the Ninja and Shank, there's a lot of development time that's used to create these one-off engine tools for animators to animate these 2D characters with joints and animations and stuff, and they're all proprietary and they're all used once and never used again. What Sprider does is it gives the same tools and power available to the developers who make games in the style of Rayman or Mark of the Ninja or Shank without having to spend all the dev time on creating this brand new engine. It's a very versatile program. It exports to a million different types of file types. It's compatible with almost any type of programming that you use, any type of engine that you create. It's gotten the endorsement of many game studios who have gone on record and said that they wished a program like Sprider had existed when they had developed their own games, especially the guys who did Shank. We're really impressed with Sprider.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's very impressive.
I'm
just like, wow.
I've used it a little bit. It's really awesome. All right, so next month our game is going to be Republic Commando. That's going to be our 2-part book club game. So jump in. PC. It's on Steam sale right now for like $5. Pick it up. Jump in. Play along with us. It's going to be a 2-parter, so we're going to play up to a certain point and then carry on from there. We're probably going to play the first quarter of the game or so. And then,
I don't know. By the time James gets his podcast done, the sale may be over.
And we promise it always won't be shooters.
It always won't be shooters.
It won't always be shooters.
Oh, see, that's the problem. You guys thought Mass Effect 3 was a shooter. Mass Effect is not a shooter. Mass Effect 3 is.
So follow us next
time. Sorry, it's still head shoot.
Okay, so like, comment, subscribe. If you comment or you leave feedback on YouTube or email us, it's at squad9.tv@gmail.com. Leave us feedback. We'll read it on the show. Be involved in the discussion. Ask questions, leave comments. You can also follow us on Facebook. It's Squad9 Games. So just follow us. Check it out.
Wait, before you go. Wait, we got endorsements.
Endorsements. Go, Ariam. You got this.
My endorsement today is KFC's macaroni. It's so good. It's so creamy. It's like
good God, man.
It's 90 cents as a side. I mean, how can you go wrong with 90-cent pre-made macaroni? Okay.
I really hate that, man.
All right. This is Player 9 signing out. Thank you, guys. You're awesome.
This is Lee signing out.
This is Milkbone eating macaroni.
Sex Panthering away.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
Bye.